Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I hope that you all are fine, happy, and fresh. This is your science teacher Muhammad Mashood Khan, and we are discussing chapter number 3, that is energy resources. Before I start today's lecture, I will recall that what we have discussed in this chapter in the previous lecture. We have discussed about the energy resources, in which we have divided the energy resources into two different categories. One is the renewable energy resource and the other is non-renewable energy resource. So what is renewable energy resource? The energy which we get from the sun, the energy which we get from the wind, water, and the biomass energies. These are called the renewable energy resources. Why they are called renewable energy resources? Because these resources are not getting reduced by our usage. These things will be there till the doomsday. Till the time till the earth is there, so life is there, the sun will be there, the water will be there, the wind will be there, so we can get energy from them, and their resources are not going to reduce. That is why they are called the renewable energy resources. And non-renewable energy resources are the energy which we get from the fossil fuels, like the natural gas, the coal, and the oil. These resources of energy are called the non-renewable energy resources. Why we call them non-renewable energy resources? Because their deposits are going to these resources are getting reduced day by day as the energy consumption is increased several hundred times as compared to the last century. So these resources are, as their demand is increased, so their usage is increased, so they are reducing day by day. So we have to look for the renewable energy resources. So we also discussed about the fossil fuels, that the coal, gas, these things are and the natural gas, these are the oil, these are the fossil fuels which are formed by the dead animals and plants over several thousands of years, going through from different temperatures and pressures. They are converted to the energy resource in the form of fossil fuels. And these fossil fuels are the one which are used a lot to create to fulfill our energy resources. So now today we are going to learn that how these fossil fuels work. So coal is crushed into a fine dust and burnt. Oil and gas can be burned directly. So basically we burn these fossil fuels to get our energy. So the basic criteria or the basic way of usage is shown in your slide also, that we burn the fuel, and because of the burning of the fuel, the heat is created. That heat is used to boil the water or to convert the water into steam. Then this steam goes to the turbine, and it turns the turbine, where the turbine is connected to the generator, which generates the electrical power, and the electricity is generated and it can be sent around the country. So this is how the fossil fuels work. Their basic work is to burn. Like, it is up to the resources, or it is up to the reservoirs, that what reservoirs or what resources you have to burn. You can burn coal, you can burn oil. So in both cases they are burned, and the rest of the process is same, that the heat energy is released from the fossil fuels. This heat energy is utilized while converting the water into steam. Then from this steam the turbines runs, and then from these turbines the generators are connected, which can generate the electrical power, and then it is sent in the entire country, and then this electricity is further utilized into different works. So this is how the fossil fuel works. Coal provides around 28% of our energy, and oil provides 40%. Crude oil, which is called the petroleum, is easier to get out of the ground than coal, as it can flow along the pipes. This also makes it cheaper to transport. So this is some extra information, that coal provides around the 28% of the world's energy, and oil provides almost 40% of the world energy. And the crude oil, which is also called the petroleum, it is easier to get out of the ground than coal, because coal needs the proper transport, which needs the manpower to work there and to take it out from the reservoir, and then to the power plant where you will burn it. But the crude oil is easier to get it out from the ground as compared to coal, because the oil can flow through the pipes, so it is also cheaper in the transport. So, moving further, natural gas provides around the 20% of the world's consumption of the energy. So that is also the extra information, that the natural gas provides the 20% of the world's consumption of the energy. So the same process happens to the gas also. Like the natural gas is used to burn it, is used for burning process, and then this from burning you can convert the boiling water into steam, and then through steam you can generate the electricity, and then that electricity can be used in further works. So now coming towards that, what are the advantages of the using of fossil fuels? Now this is a very important question. So very large amounts of electricity can be generated in one place using coal fairly cheaply, and transporting oil and gas to the power stations is easy also. Gas-fired power stations are very efficient. A fossil fueled power station can be built almost anywhere. So these are some advantages, that a very large amount of electricity is being generated from these fossil fuels, and these oils and gas particularly are quite easy to carry to the power stations through the pipeline. So they can generate electricity with very ease, and even the gas filled power stations are very efficient. Their efficiency is much greater than as compared to the other resources. So these are the few advantages of fossil fuels, and even the biggest or the most highlighted one advantage of the fossil fuel is that a fossil fuel power station can be built up almost anywhere. Wherever you have the resources, wherever you have the reservoir of these fossil fuels, you can set up the fossil fuel power station there, and you can easily generate electricity from there, and then you can just convey it, or you can just transport that electrical energy through the wires in the entire country. So that is one of the greatest advantage of the using of the fossil fuel. Now coming towards the disadvantage of it, that what is the disadvantage of the using of these fossil fuels? So basically the main drawback of the fossil fuel is pollution. It is one of the biggest disadvantage of the fossil fuel, that it causes pollution. Whenever you will burn a gas or coal, it is going to excrete, like the smoke will be produced through it, which is harmful from the ozone layer also. So burning any fossil fuel produces carbon dioxide, which contributes in the greenhouse effect, like the disturbance in the greenhouse effect, and warming the temperature of the earth. And the burning coal produces sulfur dioxide, a gas that contributes to the acidic rain, with the United States importing 55% of its oil, and oil spills are serious problems, and mining coal can be difficult and dangerous. So now the basic thing, which the information which is giving in the disadvantages of the fossil fuel is the pollution, that it can cause a high pollution by burning it. Like in the example they have given, that the burning of the fossil fuel increases or the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which contributes in the disturbance of the greenhouse effect, and that can also be the cause of the global warming. And the burning of coal also produces the sulfur dioxide, that can cause the acidic rain, which is not healthy for the living creatures on the earth. And even the oil spills, like mentioned here, that like the United States imports almost 55% of the its oil. So oil spills, like when the oil spills over the sea, so a lot of living creatures become dead because of that oil spill, and a lot of pollution is caused because of that. So these are the few disadvantages of the fossil fuels which are mentioned there. So summarizing that what we have discussed in today's lecture, we have discussed about that the how fossil fuel works. So basically the fossil fuels are burned, and by this burning we can just turn the water into steam, and then this steam turns the turbine, and then this turbine turns the generator, and then the electrical part is generated and sent around the country. Then we discussed about the advantages of fossil fuels and the disadvantages. So the advantages, the biggest advantage of the fossil fuel is that they are very easy to use, and even a fossil fuel power station can be built up almost anywhere wherever you have the reservoirs. You can easily build up that station, and the gas filled power stations are very efficient. Then we discussed about the disadvantages, that the most disadvantage of the fossil fuel is that they cause pollution, and even the global warming, they can cause in the global warming, and also uh, it releases different types of gases which are unhealthy, and that can cause in the acidic rain. So this is what we have discussed in this lecture. I hope that you have